Hey there, Trailblazers fans. Welcome into another episode of the 1977 podcast, an episode named in honor of your 1977 world champion Portland Trailblazers. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt, and it's been a minute. I apologize. I keep doing that. That's my intros right now. Life is hectic. The schedule's hectic. I got all the Rip City radio duties going on. You can remember, you can find me 2 hours before every game and after every game on Rip City Radio 620 with Blazers Game Day and the fifth quarter, respectively. 503-248-0620. Call in. Talk to me. Join the chat. All right. Enough of plugging of thyself. You're not here for that. You're here to talk a little bit of Portland Trailblazers, and I'm recording this the morning of game day against the Golden State Warriors. The first of the two final games of the season, both at home. We got the Lakers on Sunday and, of course, Golden State today. And then it's a wrap. 82 games in the books, and it's all over for your Portland Trailblazers, who have officially been eliminated from the play-in. And let me tell you what, fans, it took till game 79 before they were officially done. And if you would have told me that back in October, back in November, whatever, hit preseason, yeah, Blazers are mathematically going to have a chance at that play-in until basically game 80. I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you. If I would have said it, you would have laughed at me. To be fair, I do remember on the radio before the season, asked about what are your preseason predictions? And I said, I think this team can win 30 games if they're fully healthy. All things are good. I got laughed at. Chad said I was crazy. Listeners laughed at me. Well, here are your Portland Trailblazers, 35 wins on the season with 2 games to go. Maybe they could have got a few more there. Injuries have been a nasty little thing to deal with all season long, but all things considered, so far, just a hell of a year for your Portland Trailblazers. And again, the fact that it took till this long to be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs is just crazy. Now, we looked at those standings for the longest time, and we're like, okay, they are logically eliminated, but mathematically they're still there. And of course, we weren't sitting there going like, okay, there's 10 games left to play and they're 10 games back, so there's a chance. Like, no, it was like, we're 2 games back with 6 games to play or whatever it was. And it was all right there. Of course, the Blazers go on a road trip, a 5-game road trip, and it started in Sacramento where they took the loss to the Kings. And that was probably the start of the end for their season. It was a 128-107 loss. And really, that was kind of the game that they really needed to win. They win that game, it changes everything, the trajectory of the rest of the season, because they gain a game. Sacramento loses a game. Then they go on, lose in New York, get wins over Atlanta and Toronto. And then, of course, that egregious Chicago game. They have a chance, take a couple players out, and it's like, oh, I see what you're doing here. Same thing in Utah, right? Go to overtime. Don't play Toumani Camara and Shaedon Sharpe in overtime. Hurts a little bit. I don't like it. Last episode that you guys listened to was me going on a rant about tank tactics. I do not like tank tactics. I do not like them, Sam. I don't like tank tactics on a train. I do not like them on a plane. Those all make sense because now we have technology. We can watch basketball in both of those places, right? And I don't like it. I don't like, hey, I'm going to play my guys for 25 minutes and I'm going to sub them out when in crunch time because, this loss matters. I don't like that. And I railed on Toronto for doing it. I railed on Washington for doing it. And you got to be fair. I don't like Portland doing it either. I would have liked them to play Shea and Toumani in that overtime. I would have liked them to try to win that game in Chicago, not sub their guys out. But you know what? It is what it is. It's as Macho Man says famously, you don't got to like it, but respect it, right? We all know that. Again, I don't like it, but I understand it. I don't know if I respect it. I don't like it, but I understand it, okay? And so, yeah, that's a little frustrating. I would have preferred them to just do what they needed to do to get in. But again, that game against Sacramento was really the writing on the wall. Lost that game, and they lost a lot with it. Right now, Portland has 2 games left. It's Golden State and the Los Angeles Lakers. And there's still a lot on the line here, fans. Absolutely still a lot on the line. Your Blazers 2 games back of San Antonio, currently tied with Phoenix for the 9th spot. And for those of you who don't know how that would work, if they do get tied, it would be the odds that you get if you're ninth, plus Portland would technically be in 10th at that point, plus the odds you get of 10th. Those two odds are combined, and then they're split evenly. And so that's what would happen here if it ended right now. Tankathon has Phoenix at a 3.8% chance, Portland at a 3.7% chance of the number one overall pick. There's a bunch of different variations to find who gets the extra number combinations within that, but that's how that is figured out. Portland would benefit from just getting in and getting ninth place outright. What is tough about that, though, is you're going to look at a situation here with 2 games left to go in the season where those 2 teams that you are chasing, again, San Antonio and Phoenix, who also just got eliminated from the playoffs, they are guaranteed, one of them, to gain a game on you, because tonight it's San Antonio versus Phoenix, right? Those 2 teams have to play, so one of those teams is guaranteed to get out ahead of you. I think if you're really having a rooting interest in things, it's tough. It's tough because you kind of want Phoenix to win, right? Because you want to sit there and go, hey, I want that chance to get to San Antonio, but then you kind of want San Antonio to win because you like the fact that, Phoenix could lose. But no, realistically, what you're rooting for here is you're rooting for a Phoenix victory. A Phoenix victory knocks San Antonio back one, and it also helps you create a little ground there with Phoenix, because the odds of Portland winning one of these next 2 games is pretty low, because not only does Portland have, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 guys out. I know that's an exaggeration, but basically half their roster not playing due to various air quotes injuries, right? Some of them legit, some of them also just the understanding of what's going on. The latest update we had, which was yesterday, was that obviously DeAndre Ayton out, still dealing with that calf strain. Jeremy Grant out, right knee inflammation. Scoot Henderson out in concussion protocol. Bryce McGowan's was out after fracturing his rib down there with the Rib City Remix. Anthony Simons out with a right forearm contusion, and Robert Williams out with a right knee injury management. Okay, doubtful for the game, Denny Avdia, right thumb sprain. Questionable for the game, Shaden Sharp, right knee soreness. So quick math tells you that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players out. 8 players out. Going to be hard to win, especially when you look at the standings again and you understand that both LA and Golden State have plenty on the line. Absolute insanity going on in the Western Conference right now. Again, 2 games left, and you have the Lakers and Golden State separated by just 2 games, all right? You have Denver, who's just a game back of LA. The Clippers just a game back of LA. I mean, Golden State is playing for home court. Like, they want to win this game. They need to get into the home court. The Lakers, too, you want to hold on to that 3 spot. So they're going to be playing their tail off, too, right? So there's just so much on the line for the last 2 teams that Portland has to face off against. And so that makes things just a little bit interesting. And that's why I say, down the line, might be a little bit harder for, the Blazers to win one of these last 2 games, if we're just being completely honest and true with ourselves. So I think you're probably rooting a little bit for a Phoenix victory, right? A Phoenix victory. Phoenix victory helps you out, not only not tying with Phoenix, but it does give you that sliver of hope of getting tied with San Antonio. Still a lot to play for, like I said, when it comes to lottery standings. Now, speaking of something to play for, I said this a while back, fans, and that was all I wanted to see over the last dozen games was growth. I wanted to see some guys kind of take the bull by the horns, right? Take the ball, run with it. Specifically, I said I wanted to see Shaden Sharp announce himself. I said he's been inconsistent. He's had some games where he looks good, but he hasn't had those games where he just looks like, yeah, that's a budding star. That's a guy that we want to definitely, hitch the wagon to moving forward. We love what we see from him. Well, I think he has answered the call. He has been incredible over these last few weeks. You look at Shaden's last 5 games. Okay, his last 5 games, he had 37, 7, and 5 against Utah, career high 37. Against San Antonio, he had 21, 10, and 6. Against Chicago, he had 17 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Toronto, 36 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And against Atlanta, he had 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. So not bad at all what he's been able to do over his last 5 games and then some. And that's exactly what I think a lot of people wanted to see was, can he take that step? Can he be that guy? And I think he's proving over the last few weeks that he definitely can be that guy. Hopefully get some momentum, take that into next season. Because what you're seeing right now is very, very nice. It's just a matter of building on that and doing it consistently. Again, the C word, consistency. Can he do that for the long run? But you're starting to feel like with Shea, as of late, you're like, oh, well, if he has like that 17-point game against Chicago, you're like, what happened? 17 feels weird, which is so much better, 17 feeling weird because it wasn't enough for versus, oh, look at that. He scored 17 points tonight. Like Ryan Rupert in Utah scores a career high, what? It was 18 points, 19 points. Like that, you're like, oh, look at that. That's a career high. That's right. It was 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for Ryan Rupert. Okay, but he scores 19. Like, yeah, wow, that's crazy. Okay. With Shea right now, we're getting to that point where like, oh, 17, that's crazy. Like what's going on? What was the shot off? Was he just not hitting it? And I like that because it means your expectations for him are starting to elevate a little bit. And I think he's living up to them. I mean, those 3 30-point games over those last 5 games, yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. The other player who's been absolutely incredible over their last 5 games is Denny Avdia, right? And again, you look at that game in Chicago and you're like, oh my gosh, why did you take him out? Coach went with the young guys in the last, 4 minutes of that game, and Chicago was able to hold on. But that was the last game he played, was in Chicago. Denny Avdia, 37 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. In the game in Toronto, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. In Atlanta, 32 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. He had 33, 7 and 7 in New York. He had 24, 7 and 9 against Sacramento. The guy's just filling up the box score. He's scoring points. He's getting you rebounds. He's getting you assists. He's getting you steals. Like, he is all over the place. It's been him and Toumani Camara in lockstep all year long for, like, who is the Trailblazers MVP? I mean, Toumani Camara has been incredible, right? I like Toumani Camara. We all like Toumani Camara. His defense has been absolutely incredible. The offense is coming around. But Denny Avdia, he's been a star for Portland. An absolute star, to the point that you got guys like Brian Windhorst talking about how, yeah, he's my vote for most improved player. I think you look at him statistically and you see, okay, well, he's kind of, in tune, if you were. He is similar to what he was last year in Washington, just statistically, right? You look at his numbers and you're like, okay, well, what's different about him? What's different about him, right? What makes him any different than the player you saw in Washington? This year, 16.9 points, 7.3 rebounds, 3.9 assists. Last year in Washington, 14.3 points, 7.2 rebounds, 3.2 assists. So rebound numbers basically identical, assist numbers basically identical. Points, he's averaging 2 more points. He's shooting worse from the 3-point line. His field goal percentage is slightly down. He's doing it all in the same amount of minutes. So what's the difference? Well, usage and aura, right? Washington is just kind of crazy. And Denny, yes, he was putting up the numbers, but he wasn't made to be the guy. And you're making him be the guy right now, and he's doing it so efficiently, so wonderfully, right? And I think the difference is just playing with that confidence that he knows he goes out there and this is what his role is. There's no jerking around. There's no trying to figure it out. Who am I? What am I? Where do I sit in this lineup? There were so many questions with Washington. Sometimes you watch that team and you feel like you're just watching pickup ball, right? Denny Avdia is vying for time with Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. You don't know what's going on. Here, it feels more like Denny is not a guy on the roster. Denny is a piece to the puzzle, if that makes sense. Like, he fits. I think in Washington, yes, he still had numbers, but you watched him play, you watched the games play, and you're like, you saw the puzzle piece, but you're like, that's not even to the right puzzle. Well, what are we doing here? Like, it's not going to fit anywhere. And if it does fit, it's going to throw the entire thing off. Right now, he looks like a key piece. Like, he puts it all together. He's like one of those corner pieces on the puzzle. If it's gone, you're like, what the heck? Like, I've lost my structure, right? And he fits. That's the key. He fits with what Portland's doing. He fits with how they're trying to build this team, plays well on both ends of the ball. And then again, you give him just that aura that he's grabbed. You know, I said, grab the ball and run with it. Grab the bull by the horns. He's done that. He's absolutely done that. So statistically, yeah, he may be very similar, but it's definitely a very different Deni Avdija right now. So I think there's going to be a legit talk. He may not win it because, you know, the teams who have winning records tend to get that. But we'll see. You know, Cade Cunningham is a guy who's getting a lot of love for most improved player. But Deni should be in that combo. And, yeah, hats off to Windhorst for saying it. And he's not the only player looking for postseason accolades, man, because the Blazers have put together a package, a hype package to, you know, the box, right, to get Toumani Camara votes for Defensive Player of the Year. That guy better at least get votes for one of the teams, right? He better get some votes for second-team All-NBA defense or first-team All-NBA defense. I know there's other guys out there like Daniels in Atlanta, but, dude, two's been incredible. Two has been absolutely incredible. And quite frankly, maybe he should be in that conversation for most improved player of the year, because he has gone from a guy who were like, okay, who is Toumani Camara, to a, oh my gosh, that's Toumani Camara, right? Like, he went from a blip on the roster to a guy no one was thinking about, to a guy who is legit. Like, teams look at the roster and they're like, is he starting? Is he playing? Oh yeah, he's playing. We better be ready for that. He's gone from 7.5 points last year to about 11.5 this year. Rebound numbers are up. Assist numbers are up. Steal numbers are up. Block numbers are up. I mean, come on. Come on. 2-point field goal percentage is up. 3-point field goal percentage is up. Everything's up. He's having a hell of a year. 11.3 points, 5.8 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 1.5 steals, 0.7 block shots per game this year for Toumani Camara. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, the most fun I have had watching a Trailblazer play defense since Wesley Matthews was in Portland. And that's saying a lot. So this is all like the long way of saying that with 2 games left, it's been a fun season. Of course, I'll do a season wrap-up when it's all said and done. We'll grade some of these players, tell you what I think. But man, the fact that this team went 80 games before the plug was pulled, right? That's pretty incredible. And that's where you sit here and you argue about tanking. Is it working? Is it not? Oh, we didn't get a top 4 pick, and we're not going to get Cooper Flagg, and Joe Cronin has completely messed up the rebuild. Has he? Has he? Because I don't think you can argue fully that the rebuild is messed up when this team won more than their projected win totals from Vegas. They're up over 30 wins. They put together some good win streaks. They've played better basketball. And these games over the last few weeks have largely been on the backs of the young guys. Ant's missed a bunch. D.A. hasn't been playing. Jeremy Grant hasn't been playing. It's been Deni. It's been Tu. It's been Shea. Prior to the concussion, it was Scoot. Right? You're getting incredible minutes from Chris Murray. And that's what you love. And I've gone this whole time like I haven't even mentioned Donovan Clingan, who's been absolutely incredible in the starting lineup. Does he still leave some to be desired? Do you know that, oh yeah, he has to work on this? Absolutely. Absolutely. That the offense of his leaves a bunch to be desired. But he can work on it. But he's still going out there and getting 3 block shots on certain nights and pulling down 20 boards and making you go, holy smokes, this guy's awesome. I mean, heck, that game in Chicago, 7 points, 18 rebounds. He had 3 block shots against San Antonio, 2 block shots against Utah, 3 block shots against Toronto, 13 rebounds in that game. He's been something else. And it's funny, too, that now that he's starting with DeAndre Ayton, now, not a lot of talk about his conditioning all of a sudden, right? Funny how that one works, because now he's been given the minutes out due to injury, and he's playing a lot more than 12 minutes a night. Again, funny how that works. Okay, up against the clock. Time is up. We're out of here. Once again, this is the 1977 podcast. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. And you, if you want more of my hot takes, my good takes, my bad takes, whatever you think they are, Chris J. Burkhardt is the name on social. And of course, you can find me on Blazers Game Day 2 hours before tip-off and the 5th quarter after every game on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Rip City, I love you. I'll talk to you on the next episode.
You've been listening to the 1977 podcast. See you next time.